Hartel, a resident of British Columbia for 20 years, has been an all-round world champion of logger sports 7 times. Ken Nelson, from Campbell River, is a foreman of a logging operation. This matchup between Hartel and Nelson will be the one to watch throughout the day. And this time, it's Nelson in 19.7 seconds and Hartel only 2 seconds behind him. There is a hot rivalry shaping up between these two. This is Peter Holmblish. At 56, one of the oldest active competitors in logger sports. The event is the single buck, one of the most strenuous activities in any sport. Peter still competes against men, most of whom are half his age. Peter enjoys logging as a sport now, but it wasn't long ago that Peter could have been one of these men, using the single buck to earn his living. Before the invention of the chainsaw, the cross-cut saw was the best way to cut through a tree. Most of the old logging methods were second nature to Peter, but things have changed over the years. These days, you'll likely find Peter flying to a logger sports show. Arriving in Vancouver, 40 miles south of Squamish, Peter returns home. Along with competitors from New Zealand, the United States, and Canada, Peter is heading to the Squamish Days Loggers Festival. From modern-day travel to the 19th century steam engine, the Royal Hudson, Peter heads to Squamish. This combination of modern and traditional is typical of logger sports, where logging methods not used for many years are perfected amid modern-day excitement and competition. The trip to Squamish takes the Royal Hudson through some of the most beautiful countryside in the world. For Peter, this area is more than just scenery. He was one of the loggers who cleared the land for the highway and the railroad that go to Squamish. To Peter, logger sports in this part of the country are part of his personal history.
We're now entering Brunswick Beach, and this is where I was working in the woods on the right-hand side up on the hillside. And it was very steep ground, and this was 1956. And we were following a 5-foot fir, approximately 5.5 feet in diameter, approximately 200 feet tall. And when it fell, it rolled into the canyon and hit another log that come up and hit me from behind and broke my back and pelvic bone. My partner, he was standing 4 feet away, and he didn't even know that I'd been hit until he seen me sitting on the ground. And then they had to take me out by boat from Brunswick Beach to Horseshoe Bay, because that was before the railway or the highway was in. I was very lucky that I didn't get killed. Logging has changed a lot over the years. Many years ago, when they first started logging, they used to log with oxen. And then they graduated from the oxen to the horses. And then around the turn of the century, they started with the steam donkeys. From there on, they have gone to the mobile spar trees and the mobile loaders. And in the falling end, where they used to fall trees, with the crosscut saw and the springboards. Now they got light chainsaws. They do not need the springboards anymore in the woods. And they will fall a lot more timber one man than what 3 men used to do with the old method.
One of the old methods was the double buck. With the crosscut saw, 2 men could fall the mightiest of trees. Double bucking requires a lot of coordination between 2 loggers, and like single bucking, it requires stamina. After that much sawing, it must have been very satisfying to yell timber. At the Squamish Days Festival, 2 veteran loggers show how it's done. Peter, as we said, is 56 years old. He is teamed with Phil Whitaker, who is 65 years old and is still actively logging in the woods. Peter and Phil were competitors at the original Squamish Days 25 years ago. They may not have won today, but they gave a tremendous effort. Paul McKenzie was the original Squamish Days clown and has been there every year since.